Hello everybody, Coins and a Cigar here. Well, it took a while, but I finally found one. Stay tuned, watch the video, like and subscribe, and wow, finally. Good morning everybody, Coins and a Cigar here with a treasure hunt Tuesday, looking to see what we can find. We have $100 here, pay no attention to those. And we have 7 rolls of quarters. We have 1 roll of dollar coins, 2 rolls of nickels, 2 rolls of pennies for $100. The reason I said don't worry about these is these, when I went to the bank, they actually gave me complete rolls. These are the rolls of the Mayflower coins, Mayflower Compact. And these are 3 presumably complete rolls of the semi-quinticentennials. And what I've noticed on certain sites, Whatnot specifically, they're selling pretty consistently at anywhere between $20 to $25 for the roll. So 25 for that, 25 for that, 25 for that. So I'm going to go ahead and list them on my Whatnot page and obviously see if there's value to them as well. These are not as much, $15 to $20, but still, the roll itself is only $10, and I have lots of them. So we are going to begin the hunt. Our cigar of the day is an LFD, La Flor Dominicana Ligero. This is a really nice cigar, Ecuadorian Sumatran wrapper with Dominican fillers. It's kind of one of the larger cigars that I like. It's about a 2-hour smoke, so when I go out and have my coffee, I'll certainly enjoy this morning. It's really medium-bodied, actually a little full-bodied, just really crisp and really delicious, and highly recommend it for any cigar people out there. Now, I'm going to set that aside because, as we know, there's no smoking in the coin room. But let's begin with our hunt. All right, we're going to begin with the dollar coins. Obviously, we're looking for Susan B. Anthony's. We're looking for Sacagawea 2000 Philadelphia's. Hopefully, we can find that speared or wounded eagle. And hopefully we can find that elusive Cheerio coin. That is highly unlikely. Of course, any presidential coins and any presidential NIFCs, which I believe are from 2012 until 2020. Those have a little more value to them because they were not intended for circulation. Let's see what I can find. All right, got this roll opened up, and a couple of Susan B. Anthony's. This one is really kind of standing out. I don't know what this is all about. Wow. That is a horrible looking Susan B. Anthony. Alright, definitely see if I can take a better look at that when I put my phone down. But man, that is terrible. There's another one here that's a presidential one. Quite the mix here. Looking obviously to see if any errors, that you're looking for presidentials that do not have any edge lettering, like maybe the one I just grabbed. I'd have to look at it. Now there's something on there. I'll have to look at it under the scope. This one does not have any edge lettering, so it's probably Sacagawea. It is. All right, let me set these out and see what else I can find. All right, I'm back with that dollar hunt. A lot of presidential coins, some in really good condition. There were 4 Susan B. Anthony's, all of them 1979 Philadelphia's. Set aside the one that's really scrungy. I did look to see if any of them were the small date, or not the small date, the wide rim. No. Sacagaweas. This is actually a Native American edition, Sacagawea. These are 2000 Ds, sorry. These are all 2000 Ps. This one is actually really great condition, and I was super excited by this one. Hoping, and it's in really good shape, hoping it would be the Cheerio or the Speared Eagle. It is not, nor are the other ones. Also in that coin was this. You're looking, well, that's very peculiar. It's actually one of the American Innovation Saturn V Somebody who lives and grew up on the Space Coast, used to watch the space shuttle and all the rockets launch all of the time, to the point now where I don't even look up anymore. They still launch them. This is a really nice coin. I'm going to definitely hold on to this. Pretty excited to see that. An innovation coin. I have no idea what its value is, but obviously I'm going to hold on to it for sentimental reasons. All right, let's move on to nickels. Actually wanted to bring you back because on the George Washington dollar coins, there is an error to look out for. What you're looking for is this spike right here to extend all the way out to the arm. That's a rare variety that you can find, so I always scope those as well. Obviously not the case here, but something to look out for. All right, opening the first roll of nickels, obviously looking for silver, World War II era, or any buffaloes, any varieties, and anything else I can find. Relatively new roll, except these. Just some crusty old nickels. All right, let me take these out and I'll set them aside and see if I can even get any information off of them. Immediate indications are no, not really. I mean, that's 1972, but seen a pretty rough life. All right, let me take a look and see what else I can find. Nothing super exciting there. It's a really nice 2025, but at 2025 you expect them to be pretty nice. In that roll was also the two oldest coins, both 1964s. One in pretty good condition, the other one crusty. But I like keeping the older coins that are older than I am. You always wonder where have they been and what have they done and all of the things they've seen. So let's open the next roll. All right, a little bit of both with the older style and the newer style. Obviously, I prefer to look at the older style. Nothing really super exciting except a really beautiful 1962 Philadelphia that, I don't know what the yellow stuff here on the back is, but man, you could almost argue there are some steps here. I'm not saying they're full steps. Not even close, but 1962 nickel that has some definitive lines in the back, and then the front is just beautiful. You know, I think so. A lot of definition and just a nice little coin. I'll certainly set that aside. Let's move on to the pennies. All right, nothing exciting there. In that entire roll, only 3 of them were copper. There were several 2023s. Obviously here you're looking for that VDB V air. If I can get this to... With that VDB V, you're actually looking for an extra V at the end, or right around there where it says VDB. It's got a weird angle, but it's there. But it's not on this penny. Also had a 1983, but as you can see, it is the correct weight. Actually, wait. Yeah, that's correct. I needed to weigh 3.1. Then that would be a pretty amazing find. All right, next roll. All right, sorting through this roll, and right here on top I noticed wheat penny. Nice. It is a 1929 Philadelphia. Wow. All right, definitely going to set that aside. That's pretty exciting. Got to look and see if there's varieties or heirs to these. I don't know offhand. But wow, that's an old little penny. What else is in here? I'll bring you back. All right, no 2023 heirs. Only 3 more copper. 65 rather. 74 and 75. That pretty nice wheat penny. That's pretty interesting. Sometimes it can be difficult to go through these and think you've discovered something copper, and you think, man, look at this old coin right here. It's got to be an old copper coin. And then you look at it, and it's actually a 2000. So zinc certainly doesn't last as long as the copper do. All right, now let's get into quarters. All right, gonna have 7 rolls of quarters, 5 that are Loomis wrapped, 2 that are customer wrapped. Let's take a look and see what we can find. All right, quarter roll number 1, one bicentennial that we can obviously look for any DDR or DDO that's on that. I'll take a look at that a little bit in further detail later. It's a 1976 Denver, which is the one you're looking for. Don't see anything offhand, but I'll take a better look later. Also have the Wisconsin coin, and we have the Homestead coin that you're looking for. Snow on the roof or that leaky bucket, which I do not see. And we have 5 potential W coins. 2019 to 2020. That is Denver. The American Samoa, we can look for the blind bat, but it is Philadelphia. 2 of the Salt Bay 2020s. That is Philadelphia. That is also Philadelphia. And one of my favorite design coins, if I can get that to focus, the Tallgrass Prairie 2020. And it is a Philadelphia. Darn it. Let's move on to roll number 2. Oh, sorry. There's this Wisconsin coin. Looking for that extra leaf. The low leaf, which goes that way, and the high leaf, which goes that way. It is not on here. So now, let's go on to the next roll. All right, roll number 2 opened up. One more bicentennial that I'll take a look at here. See, it is also a Denver. I will set that aside, see if there's any errors with this. I'll definitely take a better look at it. 5 of the Crossing the Delawares that eventually I will find that die chip error, and 2 potential candidates for that West Point mint mark 2020, which is Philadelphia, and the 2019 Lowell, it's actually pretty good shape, which is, oh, yes, yes, wow, I finally found a West Point coin. Look at that. That is the West Point mint mark for the 2019 Lowell. Super excited. Finally. Finally. That is clearly a West Point mint mark. So ecstatic there. Definitely set that aside. It's not in the best condition. It's pretty faded. I mean, it's bad, but it's still about a $10 coin, I believe. The West Point mint marks mintage is very low. I think maybe only 2 million, which sounds like a big number, but in the world of coins is not. But man, I am super excited. It finally found one. All right, sorry, I got a little excited there. I was pretty excited to find one. All right, let's see if there's any varieties on these Crossing the Delawares. No. And no. Nope. A little bit, but not bad. Not a full crown. No. All right. Well, let's move on to the next roll, shall we? But finally. All right, roll number 3 opened up. 4 more candidates for the Crossing the Delaware. This is just a 1966 quarter, but just thought it was in really good shape for 1966. I mean, just pretty. Has a nice shine to it, or a sheer to it after 70 years or so. So I'll definitely keep that aside. I mean, obviously it weighs the correct amount, so it's not silver. But just thought it was a really beautiful looking coin. And 5 more candidates for that West Point mint mark. I got lucky already. Can we do it again? No, that's a Philly. Might be better to do it up here. That's a Philly. Philly. Denver. And Philly. interesting how I can always sort of tell the Denver from the Philly just by looking at it. I mean, no disrespect to the Philadelphia Mint, but for some reason the Denver presses just look so much better. That's just my opinion. You guys may notice that as well. I don't know. All right, crossing the Delaware. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. And no, no, no. All right, 4 rolls left. Still pretty damn excited. All right, let's take a look and see what's in here. Triple shiny edges. Probably the newer ones. Yeah, Jovita Hidar. And there it is right there. All right, there it is right there. That's the one I was looking for. All right. Another beautiful looking coin. Patsy Mink, 2024 Philadelphia. All right, let's see what's in here. There's a ready looking one right there. So I'm separating these coins out for the 2019-2020s, and I came across this one. I said, well, that's an interesting looking coin, 1964. And if you look at the edge, I almost guarantee that's silver. Look at there. Found a 1964 silver quarter in that roll. You can definitely tell by the sound. Yep. All right, West Point, a silver. All right, this is very nice. What else you got hiding in here? I'll bring you right back. Where's that? Oh, 70. Darn it, I was hoping maybe I can get lucky for another one. All right, nothing further in there except for that 1964 silver. Yeah, that's nice. A couple more potential opportunities for that West Point. Philadelphia. 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 And Philadelphia. All right. 3 more rolls left. This time I'm going to edge hunt. See if I can find that silver. Nope. Yeah, this was an entire roll. Guess I didn't realize that was on my stack. So definitely an entire roll of the semi-quinticentennials. Actually, every now and then, if you open a roll, you'll find an older roll in there, but this is going to be a complete roll of that. So, all right, I know there are errors you can find with that. I am not going to focus my energy and time on that right now. I'm going to get to the 2 customer wrapped rolls we have left. All right, let's take a look. See what the customers gave me. Get that out of the way. All right. Well, there's a Homestead. We can certainly take a look for the issues there. Snow on the roof. Cracks in the windows. Leaky bucket. Nope. All right. Let's see what I can find. All right. Nothing exciting there except, hopefully, 3 candidates for the West Point Mint Mark. This is actually a very nice 2020, and it is Denver, I believe. Yep. Also a very nice 2019. I'm going to assume it's Denver too. Hopefully it's a West Point. No, it's a Philly. All right. I take my words back. Philadelphia can actually print some nice coins too. And of course that American Samoa. Looking for the blind bat. Nope. And Philadelphia. Darn it. One more crossing the Delaware opportunity in that roll. No, 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 and no. 1 roll left. All right, dumping it out. I already see 2 candidates. That one and that one for the West Point Mint Mark, and that one. Can I find a second one? I'll certainly bring you back. All right. That last roll certainly had more opportunities for West Points than the other rolls did. Let's take a look. It is Philadelphia. Yep. Philadelphia. What in the world? Philadelphia. Denver. Come on. Philadelphia. Philadelphia. And Denver. All right, 2 more opportunities for that crossing the Delaware coin. No, no, no. Looking for the heirs and the hat, the sword, and the oar. No, no, no. And lastly, notice this coin, 2012 Maine, Acadia. And that's a design I'm not familiar with. A lighthouse there on the rocks. Just not a coin I've seen. It's not unusual, but just not one I've seen in previous hunts. So, certainly pretty cool. All right, a little recap. All the rolls are done. We did find a wheat penny, a 1920 something, 1929 wheat penny. Found an old 1964 nickel, a very nice 2000p Sacagawea, just in really nice condition. We did find that Saturn Innovation coin. Very interesting, very nice. Certainly going to hold on to that. That silver quarter, 1964. The 1966 older coin that's in really good condition. But of course, the exciting find is finally, that West Point mint mark. I've searched a lot of rolls, and I am super stoked about finding a West Point mint mark. Definitely going to sleeve that up, set it aside, and hold on to it. Not too bad. All of those rolls out of 10 rolls. That's my finds. I'm impressed. I'm happy. I'm excited. That West Point mint mark made my day. And that silver, of course. You can never go wrong with finding silver. Peace and love, everybody. Happy hunting. Please like and subscribe. I certainly appreciate all of you and your comments and thoughts. I'm desperately trying to and continue to improve. Eventually, I will go out and actually get a tripod so I can actually open the rolls and not have the wiggly camera going back and forth. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm excited about what I'm discovering here, and I'm glad you guys are following along with me. So thanks for following along with the journey. Peace and love. Now it's time to go have that cigar. Peace and love, everybody.